Deme D, man, fan. Hip hop was good, was good. This is the DagogetaTv. I'm Deme D. This is another episode of On Deck with Deme, my interview series. Today I got a legendary guest, you know what I'm saying? Incredible artist representing for the town too, New York City. Skyzoo in the building. Thank you for pulling up, my God. Thank you for pulling up.
Absolutely.
Brooklyn all day.
Yeah, you know it, man. Absolutely. Peace and love. You know
No doubt. And Queens too in the building, right?
Oh yeah. That was my second home. So you know me as a Brooklyn guy. Literally, it's right there.
Okay, man.
But when I was in high school, my pops moved to Queens, to South Side, South Jamaica. So I was back and forth between Queens and Brooklyn. So it was always Queens love, of course. You know what I mean? I'm the Brooklyn guy. Even living in Queens, they knew me as the Brooklyn guy. Oh, that's the Brooklyn guy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's definitely my second home, without a doubt. So it's love always the South Side.
No doubt. That's kind of my story too. Brooklyn and Queens.
Oh, word up.
Yeah, Brooklyn and Queens all day.
Yeah.
What I like to start off the show with too, before I get kicked off, is what does hip hop mean to you, especially someone like you that's been in the game, as long as you have.
Yeah, for me it means purpose, because it is my purpose. It is what I was put here to do. It's funny, I was doing an interview earlier and we were talking about similar things, and I was saying that how there is no musical lineage in my family, right? Like, it's some kids grow up, they sing because their mother sang, so now they got vocals. Their father, played keys, so now they got musical inclination. Nobody in my family did anything with music except purchase it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
for me,
said it all.
Yeah, it's God-given. God literally said, here you go. So that means it is purpose, without a doubt. And it's also purposeful for me. It is provided for myself, provided for my family. And it has given those around me, whether I know you or not, something to hold on to and something to be a part of, something to believe in, something to look to, something to relate to. So it means so many things, but if I had to sum it up with one word, I probably would say purpose.
All right, and you broke it down for real too. That's real.
Absolutely.
That's real. And I do want to touch on some of the stuff you said too, but I want to talk about what you're doing right now, what you have going on lately.
Yeah.
Keep Me Company is your latest project.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're touring on it right now.
Yeah,
touring for
absolutely.
It. But almost 20 years in, right? Almost 20 years in.
It seemed like it. It seemed like, which is crazy, man. When you think about it, because I'm still, like my man Mace Murder said, I'm young, I'm pretty, I hit hard, I'm in the best shape of my life. You know what I mean? I'm still young in it, but yes, it has been almost. My first any type of project that came out, as far as being able to go to a store and purchase it, retail, sound scan it, whatever, was an EP I did in 2006, Cloud9. So technically we pulling up on 20 joints, which is crazy. When you think about it, I didn't really think about it until you said that, and it took me back like, wow, that's crazy. I always tell heads, I feel like Kobe in like 09, 2010. I'm not a rookie, but I'm not at the retirement year either. I'm dead in the middle, that 09, 2010 back-to-back run. I feel like Kobe in that year,
Yeah, only reason why that even came to mind, because I was breaking down a lot of my music, and you were just fitting in different sections, and there's a lot of music I missed as well. So, but what was the approach? Because you have, you got collaboration albums, you got a lot of solo albums.
Yeah.
What was the approach for the Keep Me Company project? And who were some of the producers you chose to work with?
Yeah, for Keep Me Company, it's what I call a solo record. When I do a solo record, it's me and then a bunch of different producers and maybe guest features or whatever. But then, like you said, as far as the collabo albums, I have an album, like a full album with Pete Rock, which I did, a full album with Apollo Brown, which I did, a full album with my brother Torre, which I did. So, those different types of things. You have the solo albums, which is just a Skyzoo album. So that's how I kind of categorize them. And for Keep Me Company, it's a solo joint, and production from Mark Infinite, Siege Monstrosity. Who else is on there? My man Manipulator, J.R. Swift, a lot of heads, Anakin Invader, a lot of people on the record. And as far as production,
you worked with them before?
Most of them I've worked with before. Some of them it's the first time, but most of them are people I've worked with, throughout my career, especially recently in the past couple projects, past couple years. There's no crazy, quote unquote A-list names production-wise, and that's by choice, right? Like, I've worked with A-list producers my entire career.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, I've worked with A-list producers my entire career, But for me, it's never about the name. It's always about the music. So if I say, yo, I'm working on a new project and Head send me something, I don't care who sent it. It could have been somebody grandma's. It could have been Poppy at the store. Whoever got joints, if they work, I'm with it. I don't care who made it. I don't care what it is. I don't care about the name you do or don't have yet. You know, if it worked, it worked, you know, and because everybody was a no name at some point and then they became a name. So what keep me company, you know, feature wise, I got my homegirl J Rose doing poetry on it. She's actually, she's actually an artist signed to me. And Chuck D, the legendary Chuck D. Those are the only features on the album.
That was a good. That's one of my favorite tracks on there too.
Appreciate it. Courtesy call. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, the album is about growth. You know, if I've had to keep me company up in one word, conceptually, it's about growth. The album is about you were here, now you're here. As a listener, as a human being, as a man walking around the city every day, whatever it is, not just me and my growth, but the listener as well and the relatability. And the idea, and it leads to the title, it's growth in the sense of, okay, I'm now on this growth spurt, whether I like it or not. Whether you like it or not, you got to grow up, right?
True.
I'm on this growth spurt, whether I like it or not. Cool. So now I'm starting to feel like people around me may not be growing in the same direction or the same pace as me. So now you start feeling like an outsider. You start feeling alone. And whether it's the type of music you're into that you weren't into before or that you're no longer into that you used to be into, whether it's the way you live, the way you see value in certain things, the importance that you have in certain things, going out versus not going out, whatever it may be, small or large scale items. With all those things going on, sometimes you may feel alone. You may feel like it's just you feeling that way because your people's, whoever's around you, the industry at large, fellow music heads, whatever it is, they don't see it the same way you see it. So now you feel alone. Then you meet somebody who's just like you, going through the same things, feeling the same growth spurt and being lost and caught up in it and confused by it. And you're like, oh, you feel the same way too? Yo, come keep me company. Come join in. I feel the same way. Now we can relate. Now we can build.
Okay, I got it.
And that's the energy behind the title and all that. So keep me company,
Nah, good energy too. And the album does have good energy too, man. And, definitely appreciate that again, you know, dropping this latest project. I do want to circle back though, because I definitely consider myself a hip-hop head, rap junkie.
Okay.
And I was late to the party though. I kind of missed your entry point. And I think maybe a few people I wasn't introduced to you through nobody, wasn't really no mixtapes. But I researched the story. Is the story legit with the Justice League and them introducing the knife
absolutely.
And all that? Is how it played out?
Yeah, 100%. Back in 2004, I met my man Sean Don from the Bronx. He was a part of Justice League, one of the founding members.
Okay, so they were from, I thought they was from...
They're from North Carolina.
Okay.
So hear me out.
Right.
So Donnie's from the Bronx, Sean Don, he's from the Bronx. But he lived in North Carolina. He went to school with all of them. He went to school with Little Brother and the whole Justice League and all that. So, and, you know, college and all that. Right. So he was back in New York doing some stuff. And my man introduced me to him. Shout out to my man, Ayers Knights. My man introduced me to him, put me on to them and what they was doing. And me and Sean Don got together in 2004, made a couple records. And I had every mixtape I had at that point. Mind you, I had a regular job. I had to go to work every day. I think in 2004, man, I might have been working at 2004. I think I might have still been at Kinko's, man. I was either at Kinko's or Home Goods. Yeah. No, I'm very open with it in my music. I worked 9 to 5s growing up. You know what I mean? Like my story is in my music. I'm not ashamed of any of it. So I might have been at Kinko's or Home Goods when I think I was at Home Goods. And when I met Sean Don and whatever little mixtapes I had that only 10 people had heard, you know, I gave him one, and
they were all complete already.
They were, I gave him whatever music I had, and then he went back to North Carolina, and he called me like a week or two later and was like, "Yo, Heads want you to come out here immediately. Like, get out here immediately if you can and come vibe with us." So I was on the next thing smoking. You know, boom, I got out there. It actually, I think it was a couple months because I went in 2005, and at that point I was working at Morgan Stanley. But I went out there in like early 2005. Flew out there, met all of them, Little Brother and, you know, Joe Scudder and all them guys and Big Doe and all that. And that locked in. And then me and Knife got real close and, you know, we started working. So that was back then, you know, and I've had a million mixtapes since then, a million features and collabs and all the ghostwriting I've done and everything just kind of went from there. But that was the start, right? Like, of course, I've been rhyming forever. I've been rhyming since I was 9, but that was my first anything in the game. Like, oh snap, you might be able to get in the door. And that was kind of how I got in the door.
That's dope. And I don't want to just skip over that because I work with a lot of artists and I really want to point that out. You went to go get it.
100%. I was known as, yeah.
They told you to pull up, but you went to go get it.
I got a million stories of me getting up and going to get it.
A lot of people 100%. Think it's gonna come, so I just want to point that
this game is 50-50, especially the era I grew up in. You know, now it's different. You can open your phone, you could grind from your phone all day. For us, we had to grind going in the street, you know, pressing up 1,000 CDs, getting them from my man. I knew this dude in Queens who, you know, had the whole layout in his crib. I think he was doing tapes for the unit and all that. And I would go to him and get my tapes done, you know, press up 1,000 joints, come get them 3 days later or whatever, putting the covers in the jewel case. I was doing all that, right? Like I'll go to work, come home and literally sit in front of the TV and put 1,000 inserts, the square joints inside the jewel case. And then go back out. Any event, I was there, you know, 200 pieces on me, 100 pieces on me, handing them out, giving them out for free, covering the street with flyers, working at Kinko's. I had all the flyers for free because I was rocking them for all the print work I could get, you know, when, you know what I mean? I was going crazy, you know, doing all that and boom, boom. So, you know, but yeah, I went out there. It was 50% the music, 50% the grind, you know?
Because you got there.
You had to go out there and get it. And I did everything I wanted to do and then some.
And then look how it panned out. So that's where the deal came from. I know you had the duck down, but I seen that Jamline. I didn't even know Jamline goes that far back.
I was the first artist. I was the first Jamla artist. I
was late to the party.
100%. I was the first Jamla artist. You know, Ninth asked me to kick the label off.
That's dope. See, that's another thing in case y'all didn't know.
Yeah.
Breaking the hand.
Yeah, he was like, yo, can you help me kick the label off? I was like, absolutely. So, you know, it was a couple of us there and I was the lead off. I was the face and all that and blah, 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 and whatever. And then through that, you know, it was Jamla / Duck Down.
Duck Down, yeah.
So, you know, with the Duck Down deal, they came to me, you know, me running around, going crazy in the city. I got records with this one and that one, mixtapes. I'm at every show. I'm at every showcase. I'm burning shit up. I'm, you know, doing interviews everywhere. I'm getting videos on TV. Like, how's this kid getting videos on BT and MTV with nothing behind him? It was just me being in the street and going hard. So, you know, from that, I was cool with Sean Price. You know, we actually got cool through the Justice League. So I was cool with Sean Price. And
Price,
that was my brother, for real. That's family. Shout out to Bernadette, love always. That's my sis. But you know, so all that was happening, and you know, Drew and Buck came to me and wanted to do the deal, and Sean was very instrumental in that.
Nice.
You know, Sean went to Drew and Buck and was like, "Yo, we gotta sign Sky. We gotta sign Sky." And they was like, "Yo, we're gonna sign Sky," and he was like, "No, we have to sign Sky. Like, make sure y'all get that done." You know what I mean? But and it was love in a love way, of course, you know, they were like, no, we definitely want to sign him. Like, we're in the process. And, you know, we did the deal. And like I said, it was Jamla Duck Down. And I dropped the Salvation in 2009. That was my debut. The next year, me and Illmind, my brother Illmind, we dropped Live from the Tape Deck. And it just kept going, man. You know, and Great Debater and Theo vs. JJ mixtape and, you know, A Dream Deferred with Spike Lee Was My Hero and Range Rover Rhythm and all that. It just kept spiraling. It just kept spiraling, man. And everything's been incredible since then. It's been very blessed.
Well, that's kind of when I got in tune with you. The Salvation. I mean, that's my.
Oh, so that's 09.
Yeah, so I'm saying I was kind of late because usually.
Oh, that's not really late.
It's not really late.
That's early. I thought you was talking like last year.
Nah. Never that bad.
Nah, 09. You was there.
The Salvation is when I first got introduced to you. Then
you was outside for sure.
Yeah, I was outside. What I don't want to skip on though. Because you had some stellar production on there too.
Thank you.
The Salvation, you know what I mean? You had Just Blaze, of course, Ninth.
Yeah.
Needles. But I want to
Knots, all that, yeah.
Knots, that's my guy too. Knots, Illmind and Black Milk. I want to speak to that though. You came with a whole project with Illmind and you worked with Black Milk a few times.
Yeah.
What drew you to them? Because I don't know where Illmind is from.
Jersey.
He's from Jersey? Okay,
yeah.
So I know a few people who work with him, but what's the draw to him? And Black Milk is, you know, he's from
Black is Detroit.
Detroit. So
yeah, it's just, you know, we all came up in the same moment.
Okay.
So you, no matter where Heads is from, you cross paths and you riding and you getting it going. And, you know, we all in the same circle on the same side of the fence musically, right? At that time, we all was making the same type of music, servicing the same side of the fence, the blog era. I'm a product of the blog era. And I'm the early side of the blog era, right? Like the blog era was, you know, like 05, 06 when it kind of started. And then it kind of went till like 14. But I was the early side. I was one of the first ones. Me, my brother Torre, Wale, you know, we was there early on, and then later you had, you know, your Cuddies, your Kendricks, you know, your Wiz Khalifas, your Dom Kennedys and all that, your Coles. But it's all one blog era. You know what I mean? It's just the first half and the second half, but we all was one blog era. So for me, being in the blog era, you know, of course, like you said, Black and Illmind. I met Illmind through the Justice League too. When I was working with the J League.
All about networking.
Yeah, when I was, you know, doing a lot of work with the league back in matter of fact, that trip in 05 when I went down there, Crisis introduced me to Illmind, and that's how we got together. The first thing we ever did was on AIM. You know what I mean? Like Meezy, Illmind, I call him Meezy, but Meezy wasn't part of the league, but he knew Crisis. You know, beat makers all know each other, just the same way rappers all know each other. So he was like, yo, it's this kid, this Asian kid in Jersey that you got to get with him, man. We met, like he gave us each other's AIM name on the sidekick. You know what I mean? 2005. Yeah. So we was on AIM. Going like Illmind would send me beats on AIM, you know what I mean? Like that on AOL AIM Messenger and all that. So that was when that started, and that's my brother. That's my family. So you know, we did the live from the tape deck joint with speakers on blast and all that stuff started happening, going crazy, and then the remix with Banks and Mano and 50 called me, and we thought of that. All that stuff started happening. Yeah. So you know, it was a lot going on, a lot of great things going on with that, and it just continued to spiral. Like I said, it's a domino effect. You know, and it just continued to go.
Definitely. You touched on it real quick. I gotta ask, you know what I mean? I know people have been talking about it to death with the Bow Brothers, man. Is
my bro.
Is that a closed chapter? Is there gonna be another
I don't know.
one?
You know, that first off, that's my brother. You know what I mean? So outside of music, that's my brother. Okay. You know, we fam always. We met through the music, but that's my family. We never said, yo, we're gonna become a group and do group stuff forever. It was more of a, you know, Red and Meth, like do the album, you know, and whatever happens. Oh, Bow Brothers is incredible. And, you know, whatever happens. But we did it for the people, you know. It wasn't something we sat down and came up with. The people came up with it. I'll never forget, I was on tour with Ghost. I was on tour with Ghostface in 09 for the Salvation, and Tour came with me. So we was out, I'll never forget, we was in Indiana and we did the show, whatever. So now afterwards, we at the merch table, you know, I got the Salvation CDs and everything's cool, whatever. And this kid came up to us, yo, man, blah, 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 what's up, yo, big fan. And he was like, yo, when is Bow Brothers dropping? And we looked at each other and I was like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And he goes, nah, Bow Brothers, the album. It's like, what? He pulls out his BlackBerry, because it's 2009, right? So I ain't lying. He pulls out his BlackBerry. He goes to my Wikipedia page, and he scrolls, and where it has my bio and all the shit, it says upcoming albums, Bow Brothers, album with Torre. And we was like, what the hell is that?
And that wasn't in talks already?
Nah. So some kid.
You can't believe the Wikipedia.
So some kid went on Wikipedia somewhere.
Yo, that's crazy. Because
anybody can edit anybody's Wikipedia page, which is trash.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can just go on Wikipedia and just edit and, you know, submit it. So somebody went on my Wikipedia page and put Bow Brothers with Torre. That's how it was born. We had told
that story before?
A million times.
I've never seen him late to the party.
Yo, that was not our idea. The title, none of that. You know, we was like, what?
That's dope.
And then we didn't think nothing of it. We just laughed. Like, yo, this shit's crazy. I should have took a picture of it, but I probably had a BlackBerry, so the picture would be blurry now. But, you know, we didn't think nothing of it. And then when me and Illmind did live from the tape deck, I was like, yo, Tour, let's do a joint. Let's do the back and forth kissing styles type shit. Like, yeah. So he came to Illmind crib and we did the joint. And at the end of it, you know, he was like, yo, what you gonna call it? And I said, Bow Brothers. And he fell out laughing. He was like, yo, you stupid, bro. He was like, yo, you fucking with the people. They gonna go crazy on the internet. Because the word had already started, oh, y'all should do something. So that was gonna make people think we was really doing it. And he was like, yo, you stupid, bro. Like, they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna really think we doing this album. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's fuck with them. You know what I mean? And you know, we joke around a lot. I was like, yeah, let's fuck with them. And we named it Bow Brothers. And of course, everybody, yo, so y'all doing it? You know, and then it wasn't still until 2014. We did, it was years later when we finally did it.
Yeah, because you weren't that deep in projects yet. You had already had only a second
album, but if you add all the mixtapes and all that, it might have been like the 5th or 6th project. You know what I mean? So yeah, and you know, but yeah, then you know that was the early days, and kept going, and you know now we here.
Yeah, I do want to touch on the Mind of the Saint. What made you want to do like a concept album and then choose the other guys?
with the Mind of a Saint, man. You know, one of my favorite albums. So the way that came together Man, I got a homie, my man Kerry out in Portland. Shout out to my man Kerry. He used to be a big exec for the Blazers, for the Portland Trail Blazers. He's one of us. He's a hip hop guy. He looked like you and I, the whole deal. But you know, he works like high up in sports. Now he works for like Major League Soccer and all that, whatever.
Oh, he's in there.
Yeah. He was an exec with the Blazers. You know what I mean? Like, took me to, you know, the Dame locker. I'm taking pictures in Dame locker, autographs, all that, you know, all the type of cool shit. So anyway, Kerry, I know him through the music. He's just a fan, and we became peoples. We got real cool. And one of his favorite projects of mine is a tape I did called Theo vs. JJ back in 2012, where, you know, it takes the idea of Theo Huxtable and the idea of JJ Evans. And the project is about irony and the dichotomy of the grass being greener, right? Like, you grow up like a Theo Huxtable and you're like, man, I have all these pressures on me to live up to this upper middle class lifestyle. The other side is just so more simplistic and laid back and easy and forgiving. And then you have JJ Evans, like, yo, I have all this pressure of me to get my family out the hood because we have nothing, right? And over there, y'all got it, making all that money and being great and have nothing to worry about. So it's about the grass is always greener. So that project is out. You can go hear it, you know. It's an EP mixtape I did.
Banger.
So that's out. So Kerry always was like, yo, man, Theo vs. JJ is my favorite project of yours. I was like, word up. He was like, yo, you should do another one. You should do like Avon versus Franklin. And I was like, what? Like Avon Barksdale from The Wire and Franklin, you know, on Snowfall. And I was like, man, I ain't doing that. I was like, they ain't even in the same world. Like, it's the 80s and the 90s, 2000, really 2000s. Yeah, 2000s. And then it's, you know, Heron versus Coke. I was like, they don't even match. So we just was messing around on text. I was like, bro, I ain't doing that shit. So we was laughing, teasing each other. He would text me like once a month about that. Yo, you got to do Avon versus Franklin. Yeah, you got to do Avon versus Franklin. He sent me like 5 messages about that. I was like, bro, I'm not doing that. Like, that shit is crazy. You know what I mean? But the last time he hit me, something just stuck. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because I don't see how that would work. Right. But I'm going to take that idea and flip it. And it became Just Franklin. And once I bought into it, once I told myself, yo, I'm going to do it, I was all the way. I was like, oh, I'm all the way doing this. And I hit it. He was the first person I told. I was like, yo, I'm doing this Franklin album, and you kind of set it off. He was like, yo, that's crazy. That's great. So every time Peds asks, I always give him all the flowers and I thank him in the credits. And that I had no intentions of doing anything like that. And it's one of my favorite albums. It's well received an album that, you know, people adore. Yeah, Apple Music called it the best concept album in hip hop since American Gangsta, you know, so it's on that type of time. It was the #1 album the week it dropped, #1 hip hop album in the country. Yeah, definitely. You know, we that week we beat French Montana, we beat Drake. A lot of heads. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was the #1 hip hop album in the country for that opening week. So it was live. So so that, you know, the idea behind it, you know, me becoming Franklin, and as a Snowfall fan, I was a fan already. It wasn't like I didn't know much about the show or whatever. I was a diehard fan. And it's funny, people always ask, they say, yo, when you did it, did you have to go and rewatch the show? Nah. And that's word to everything. I literally just sat down. That's word to everything. I literally just, all right, let me go write. So it almost was like how you write about your life. Like, would you have to go? Would you have to go back and sit down and ask your moms or your peoples about your life if you had to write an album about your life? No, like, it's your life, right? So it was almost like that, even though that's not my life. But I was so tuned into the show and such a fan, I literally just went to the studio and just started writing. And Heads was like, yo, but you mentioned this quote from Leon in this episode in season 3. And how did you remember that shit? I was like, I'm just a fan of the show. So it was almost like if it was my life. You know what I mean?
It was on it.
And it became a thing. And like Damson Idris, who plays Franklin, of course, you know, he bigged it up crazy in Rolling Stone magazine. He was like, yo, Skyzoo album, it's incredible that he did that. Everybody's hitting me about it. Everybody's talking about it. It's crazy. It's dope. You know, I know some of the people at the series. Shout out to my man Trevor, who's one of the executive producers of Snowfall. He's been a huge fan. He actually is the one who gave Damson the album, the link, before it came out. When I met with him, we met through my man Doug, a lot of Hollywood players, and we met for lunch or whatever, and I told him what I was doing, and I sent him an early link, and he called me 5 minutes after we left lunch, and he was like, yeah, so I just sent the link to Damson. I was like, oh, word. He was like, nah, this is incredible. I had to send it to him right away. I just sent it to him, and I called him and said, yo, stop what you're doing and press play on this. This is nuts. You know, so it's been love with them. You know, Gail Bean, who plays Wanda, she reached out a bunch of times and we started, you know, having dialogue, you know, and she was super into it, and it's been love, man.
Okay, yeah, so that's even better. No conflict, no friction.
No, it's been love. It's been love. You know, people call it the official soundtrack for the show. You know what I mean? Like, if you go in the comments,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, when you go in the comments, everybody's like, this is the album for the show. This is the soundtrack for the show. But I did it, you know, out of love for the show, out of love for the story, and I did it out of love for the message, right? What I wanted to do with it was use it as a vehicle to talk about something and get these kids off the ledge, right? Like, when people do coke rap, I feel like it's a big coke party. Heads is throwing coke in the air like LeBron, throwing powder before the game. Heads is throwing keys like footballs, and like we on a yacht doing it. I'm busting coke. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, it's not a party. Like, I know a lot of people, day ones, people I rub shoulders with, people I split heroes and split slices of pizza with, that live that life, and it's not a party. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a party at all. And a lot of heads who make coke rap, it's just a party in them rap. So if you're a listener, you're like, oh, I want to go to the party. You know what I'm saying? So I had to talk heads out of the party. I had to talk kids out of the party. But how do you do that without being just say no, say no? Because I grew up outside, so I get it. I get both sides of the fence. Those are my people. I grew up outside. So how do you do that? How do you make it make sense? All right, here's how. Use this as a vehicle to be like, yo, whatever you got to do, you got to do. We're not here for whatever, but this is what that party is like when you get in there.
Let's talk about the album.
Know the ledge and know what's up. You know what I mean? On some Eric B and Rakim, know the ledge, like know what's up before you get to that point. So that's all it really was. I wanted to use it to kind of convey a message. And that's why it's received the way it's received. And people lose their minds on that album, man. I mean, read any comments. It's ridiculous.
It was well received.
It's crazy.
Production is on point. I think.
Shout out to my brothers, the other guys. Absolutely.
Man, so, for real.
Yeah.
One major thing I want to ask though, how much do you feel like being professional has helped you prolong your career?
Everything.
Because a lot of people overlook that, I feel like.
It's everything. I've been around some people who aren't in hip hop, right? People that are in sports, people that are in film, all different types of worlds. You know, I ghostwrite for a lot of heads who are on an other type of time. Mm-hmm. Like, the heads I ghostwrite for have nothing to do with the side of the fence that I'm on hip hop wise. Right, they're on the other side of the fence, which is perfect and it's beautiful. And I've been with literally some of the biggest names you could imagine in A-list Hollywood, A-list music, etc., who are in my phone, and it's a blessing. I say all that to say I learned from a lot of them, right? Definitely, especially in the sports world. Like, I have heads in the sports world that I've learned from, and learning how to be professional, learning how to be A1, how to handle certain things, how to handle your brand, how to clean everything up, keep it clean, how to do, and I don't mean clean in the sense of vulgarity. I mean in the sense of just way of life, how to keep certain things a certain way and be right. And how to build your team a certain way, representation, all that different stuff. And I've ran with those lessons, you know. So to what you said as far as being professional, 100%, it's everything. It's everything. You know, you got heads running around doing the most right now, and it's, you know, it look cool right now, it look fly right now, but like when it comes to why you couldn't get certain situations and get in certain doors or get certain endorsements or get certain licensing or deals or syncs or whatever, a lot of that starts popping back up and comes into play. And even beyond all that, just integrity and character. That's the most important part, is the integrity and the character that you're supposed to have as an individual, as a creative, as a musician, whatever it is, as you being, you know, with your podcast and your platform and everything you're doing. Yeah, all the integrity and all that is supposed to be A1. It's supposed to be the first thing at the door, you know?
Absolutely. And I just like to always point those things out. You know, maybe they'll understand more, you know, hearing it from someone like you.
Hopefully.
You know what I'm saying? Who,
yeah,
you know,
hopefully.
Living how you get it. So I just got a few fan questions before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Some hip-hop shit, you know, being a hip-hop junkie, I got to ask, 3 of your favorite debut albums.
Oh, man.
Rap debut albums.
Oh, man. Illmatic, which I think is the greatest album of all time. The greatest hip-hop album of all time. There? Absolutely. Okay. I'm very on the record about that.
Okay.
The greatest hip-hop album of all time is Illmatic. Wow. Let me see. There's so I could definitely do more than 3.
That's why I ain't say top. That's why I just say 3 of your favorites.
Yeah, favorite. Oh, I mean, yeah, if we're going favorite, I mean, of course, Ready to Die, because that's about my neighborhood.
Okay, that's about right.
You talking about an album that's literally about my blocks and the areas that I walked in as a kid, going to school every day, and when it was happening. You know what I mean? Not
Exactly,
late, like,
going back.
when it was happening.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I was there as a little kid, as a preteen and a teen and all that and beyond. So Ready to Die, of course. Of course, Reasonable Doubt. I could keep going, man. Black Star, Liquid Swords. Liquid Swords did everything for me in the 7th grade. I'm gonna say, Doggy Style, Snoop.
We was just talking about that off camera too.
Get Rich or Die Trying, without a doubt.
Queens in the building.
Yeah, without a doubt. Get Rich or Die Trying. All of that. We've been blessed in hip hop.
All right, so I got one for you. Iron Man or Supreme Clientele?
Iron Man, without a doubt.
There you go. There you have it. Skyzoo in the building.
Supreme Clientele is tough.
It's fire.
We know it, but Iron Man is it.
It's fire.
Iron Man is it. I've been on the record for that. I remember tweeting it years ago. I was like, yo, I know I'm alone in this, but it's and a lot of heads jumped in. It was like, yo, absolutely, I agree with you, man. That is not a slight or anything at all. Slight. Iron Man is the one.
Iron Man's the one.
Without a doubt.
All right, so real quick, we're gonna get on some Knicks shit.
Yeah.
2 of your favorite all-time Knicks.
Carmelo Anthony and Earl of Pearl.
Let's get it.
Without a doubt.
One of your favorite Knicks moments, playoff moments.
Was that the playoffs when that happened? I'm trying to think. Nah, that was Easter Sunday. Melo Easter Sunday. Double overtime, 2 back-to-back threes. Melo Easter Sunday was everything. But Easter Sunday, that's April, so that may not have been the playoffs. If it was, it might have been the start.
We could take that.
But Melo Easter Sunday, yeah, because you're saying playoffs, because Melo 62 as well, but that was January.
Got a lot of good Melo moments.
Yeah, that's the bro, man. Shout out to Team Melo over here, man. You see this, you know what I mean?
You already.
Yeah. But Melo Easter Sunday, of course, those Knicks Pacers years.
About to say, gotta throw Pat in there.
Yeah, of course, Pat.
Starks or somebody.
Of course. Let me see. Definitely some recent work, like Jalen Brunson and them, like some recent work. The Devo Game 2. My son's favorite player is Devo, so definitely Devo.
Get into that.
My son is livid about that still to this day. He's 7 years old and he's livid about Devo not being in the Knicks.
Man, I don't know what's wrong.
Nah, he's a Devo guy for sure. That's his favorite NBA player.
In roster perfect.
Yeah.
Last question, though, my guy. What do you expect this year from us, man? The New York Knicks. What do you expect realistically? I
think it's starting to become open-ended, which is not what we wanted.
Makes me feel uncomfortable.
Right, because it started as, top 2 team in the East, Knicks are for real, blah, 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 the Knicks are ready, they for real. And now it's starting to get a little off the tracks.
I feel like a lot of excuses and things are starting to happen.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little off the tracks. We need more from Mikal. Without a doubt, he has his nights where he goes ballistic. He has his nights where it's like, what's going on? I don't know if the lights are too bright. I don't know. The system, he got his homies. He got, JB and Josh Hart. So you got your homies there. It ain't like you don't know nobody.
Previously, he was just in New York.
Yeah, with the Nets, but that don't count.
I mean, I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the city. You know
yeah, but still, them lights is very dim. So that I'm anti-Nets. And I'm from the K, and I'm anti-Nets.
It's only one New York basketball team.
That's it. I'm anti-Nets. But but it's different lights. Like Jared Allen. He played in the Nets for years, and he said it when we played in the playoffs. He was like, I didn't realize the lights was that bright at the Garden. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different type of temperature. Cat's been incredible. Bodega Cat, catastrophic. My son, the Bodega, he's been incredible. Can't ask for too much more from him. Giving you a quiet 30 and 15, a quiet 25 and 15. You don't even notice it. Jalen Brunson's going to be who he is. He's been incredible. Josh Hart has been the reason we've won many a game that we should not have won. And then there's many a game that we should have won. I can count to 8-9 losses that we should have had.
At least 6.
I can count to the Utah joint. I can count to like 2 Orlando joints, both Bulls joints.
That Atlanta joint.
2 Detroit joints. Definitely that Atlanta. Two Atlanta joints. One with Trey was playing CeeLo on the joint, and the one in Atlanta. We should have won both of those. Like, I can count, like 8-9 joints that we should have had. So, and I'm saying that because we was right there at the door. Either we was stomping them out, or it was 2 minutes left and we was up. So those are the moments you can't let go. You can't let those moments pass by. But, I love who we are. I'm blue and orange everything, as my song says, and I was here doing some 17 win seasons. I was here during some rosters in 2002.
A new coach every other season.
Yeah, I was here, you know, Fizdale was the coach and he was smiling and we was down by 40. He was laughing, you know what I'm saying? I was here when, you know, what's son name? Kurt Rambis was the coach. You know what I'm saying?
Rambis.
So, you know, for us to complain at 27 and 17 says a lot. It says that, look at us, like, Milwaukee would kill for that record right now, and they got Giannis and Dame, you know? So it's a different type of thing, but when you know what your potential is and your capabilities are, that's when it's like no excuses. It don't matter what the record is. We should be friggin', you know, 35 and such, you know what I mean? Because of the losses that we had, that we let, you know, the games we had that we let slip away. So, but that's where I'm at. We have the potential to be what we need to be, but I also see, you know, lack of depth, of course, on the bench. I don't know how heads get that back, because the bank is empty. We had money in the bank is empty.
We gotta play
between McCall and Cat. The bank is empty. I still do those deals and those trades without a doubt, but the bank is a little empty. So I'm trying to figure it out, you know?
There you have it, my guy, man.
Yeah,
Listen, this is the DagogetaTv, where hip hop lives.
Yeah.
On Deck with Deme. Thank you again for pulling up.
Absolutely.
New York City, hip hop, this is where it lives.
Let's do it.